doesn't it suck to not ever be pleasantly surprised by something, right? Like, just never. As a Washington fan, you never get to be pleasantly surprised. I went into this game today knowing that we were probably going to lose to a pretty good team that has an established quarterback and has an established team. We're in the first year of a new regime. Still have a lot of bad pieces from the last regime still sitting here. Emmanuel Forbes, my God, probably the worst cornerback I've ever seen in my life. At least the worst cornerback we've had here on this team ever. Like, ever. I can't think of anyone else that's worse. But doesn't it suck to not ever be pleasantly surprised? Like, we could have gone into this game today and Jayden Daniels could have had a really good game, and even if we lost, but we lost like at the very last second, we're sitting here like, man, things seem like they're changed, Austin Eckler is the man, and we're sitting here talking about good, positive stuff. But no, we never get to be pleasantly surprised. We have to sit here and go, well, all we can do is wait. All we can do is see if Dan Quinn can turn this shit around, just like we said about all these other coaches and people coming into this building. All we can, people will sit here and say, oh, you're being unjust or unfair if you criticize people right now because it's just the first game and, we got all new people and everything, but it's just been 20 years of not being pleasantly surprised. Like, nothing ever goes right for us. We didn't win the game today and start the season off hot and be like, damn, I can't believe that. Things have changed quickly. Like, we were actually changing, and just, we never get that. We never get that satisfaction. We have to sit here and we got to talk about Jayden Daniels. I've seen a lot of people try to defend Jayden Daniels. I thought this was a stinker of a game, and I'm worried. I know, and the same thing is true what I just said. Maybe the team gets better over time. Maybe Dan Quinn gets better and makes better decisions over time and whatever it is. Maybe the team gets better, but it's just like, we've been here for 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's just like having to sit here and be indifferent about what's going on with the team. I can't get too invested. I can't turn away, and I can't get too invested because I knew that we were probably going to lose today, right? They're the better team. But it would have been sick to see Jayden Daniels hit that ball down the sideline to Terry, right? But I'm going to get into my worries about Jayden Daniels here. And you guys can say what you want about it, but I think there's a lot to be worried about because what I'm seeing right now is a guy who, in the NFL, can't throw the fucking football and is going to sit here and try to make up for that by running the ball and then hoping that after he runs the ball, that will open up the pass. And that shit doesn't work in the NFL. Look at Lamar Jackson. He's probably way better at doing it too. And they don't win the big games. They can't win the Super Bowl. No matter how good, and the thing is, we don't know the future. Maybe Jayden Daniels does get it turning around. Maybe this was just a fluke. But what I'm seeing so far is he can't throw the fucking football when there's actually somebody. He did at the very end of the game because it was garbage time and they were just playing off and let us walk down the field. And people are going to remember that and think that he did something. No, he couldn't do shit the whole game. He had to run the ball. And that's what I'm worried about, is because when you get into this situation where your quarterback has to run the ball, because when we're trying to run the ball, the defense is sitting there waiting for us because they know Jayden Daniels isn't throwing the ball down the field. He can't throw the ball. So he's either gonna run the ball or we're gonna try to run the ball. So that's when they're stuffing our run game and all that. So we're sitting here, and how long does it take for Jayden Daniels to keep running the ball, and then that will open up the pass game because then it'll feed off of that. But how long can he run? How long can he take hits? How long is it going to take for that to happen? And I'm worried about it. I mean, we just spent a second overall pick on the guy, and he's having to run to try to get anything to happen. Whether you want to argue whether it's his fault or whatever, I thought the offensive line was I was talking about being pleasantly surprised. I actually was pleasantly surprised by the offensive line. I'm not saying they were good, but I thought we were going to be absolutely dog shit on the offensive line. And most of the times Jayden Daniels ran the ball, it was because he chose to. Whether there wasn't someone open down the field or whatever, he had time to throw. There was a few times, and there's 2 sacks in there or whatever, definitely was the offensive line's fault, or Austin Eckler didn't pick up that guy, whatever it is. There's a few times that happened, of course, but that's going to happen in every game. for every team. I thought the offensive line was fine. I didn't think they were great. They had troubles in the run game because, yet again, like I told you, Jayden's not throwing the ball down the field, so they're going to stuff the run. But I still thought that the offensive line did okay. For the people we have on the offensive line, I thought we were going to be absolutely horrible. So I was pleasantly surprised by the offensive line. The only people on the team that give a shit and try every single play is the defensive line. That's another promising thing. But we know the defensive line is good. We know that, like, for the last however many years, 4 years, we know it's the defensive line that's going to be solid. And no matter what, they're going to try, and they're going to get pressure. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. We have penalties. We're just hurting ourselves. Not getting the interception at the beginning of the game. We're always hurting ourselves, and it's not changing. And that's what I'm saying. We're sitting here in this limbo again where, was it just because it was the first game? Is this shit going to change and get better over time? Or are we going to sit here and keep telling ourselves, oh, maybe in 2 to 3 years, maybe Dan Quinn will have this shit figured out? We're sitting here in the same spot. Secondary is absolutely terrible. I mean, Baker Mayfield could have scored over 40 points on us today easily. The only thing I liked about the team, excuse me, it was the defensive line play, and Bobby Wagner and Luvu, they looked pretty good. That Frankie Luvu and Bobby Wagner, they are definitely an upgrade for us. So if you want to pull any positives out of here, that and the defensive line is still good. And if they could just, Baker Mayfield is just, they're touching Baker Mayfield how many times they can't tackle the guy. Oh, dude, just, it's hard to like try to care and then also at the same time just like sit here and see the same shit and then try to not care that much to where you're like, get too involved where you're like, I've seen this a million times. Of course, and like it's just like, of course there's a breakdown in our secondary. Of course, like who else? We're not getting breakdowns in other people's secondary and getting a free touchdown, it's like whatever, like 50-yard touchdown pass. That's not happening to us. We're not getting a 50-yard touchdown pass and it's like there's a guy who's like clearly didn't know what he was doing or where he's supposed to be and just a breakdown in the secondary. That's not happening to anybody else. It's only happening to us. How like ridiculous is it that every single time that happens, it's just like, it would be nice if it happened just one time the other way around. Just one time. Let me jump into a couple notes here I had. And people in my Discord, or in the Redskins Review Discord, join the Discord if you want to talk with us. We talk through the whole game and everything. And we do some cool shit in the Discord. So if you want to talk to us and just talk to other fans, there's other teams' fans in there too. Join the Discord. I'll have the link in the description. But like someone else pointed out in the Discord, it took us almost to the fourth quarter to get our number one receiver the ball. This is like the biggest gripe I had about Sam Howell and what Heineke would throw the ball into triple coverage to try to get the ball to Terry McLaurin. And we can't ever find a way, whether it's our quarterback now or scheme that we got going on, we can never figure out a way to get the ball to our best player. It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. And just yet again, here we are in the same situation. Not getting Terry McLaurin the ball, just, it makes no sense to anyone. That, like, you can't, if you're this high level of a offensive coordinator or whatever, you can't scheme something open to get the guy open. Or if you're the quarterback, you can't say, this guy is like the best player on the team, let me just give him a chance. Or don't overthrow him by fucking 10 yards when he actually does get open. The Buccaneers scored on every single drive in the game until we benched Emmanuel Forbes. When we benched Emmanuel Forbes, that's the first time they didn't score. I mean, that guy couldn't be worse, dude. I made a joke and was like, I'll take a 7th round pick for Emmanuel Forbes right now, but nobody would be that dumb to do that. Nobody would give us a 7th round pick for him right now. That's how fucking terrible he is. It's just so, I'll just leave you guys with this. I don't want this video to be too long. It's just frustrating seeing us have some playmakers on the team. Brian Robinson Jr. is a star. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. Like, just he's a star, man. Give him the football. find a way to give him the football, whether it's running or passing. He showed you today you can catch the ball and do all this shit afterwards. Which there was, I think it was him that had the ball when there was that bullshit penalty for blocking in the back. The guy still made the tackle. What is that the same play I'm thinking about? I might be mixing it up, but Brian Robinson Jr., a star in the NFL. We have him. Austin Eckler looked really good today. We have Terry McLaurin. We have these playmakers, and we just don't get them the ball. It just other teams do shit that makes sense, and we're sitting here scratching our heads after the game like, why didn't Terry McLaurin get the ball sooner? Just like the most simple stuff. We're sitting here scratching our heads, and other teams don't do that shit. They do shit that makes sense. And then guess what? They beat us. It's just so frustrating to sit here and see playmakers. Austin Eckler, he had his first run today, and he looks like energized. He looked like he wanted to run people over. I was like, give him the ball again now. Give it, like, when you're on the sideline and you see him run the ball like that, give him the ball again now. What are we waiting for to, like, make down the road, give him the ball again? Look at how he just ran the shit out of that ball. He wants to play football. He wants to fuck people up. He wants to score points. Give that dude the ball now. It doesn't make sense what we do, man. That's all I got, man. You know, like I said, I seen this coming a mile away. So it's not like I was upset about the loss, but I think a lot of people were about to give Jayden Daniels a pass here, and I don't think he deserves one. I think he played a terrible game. I think he is very scary because we don't know if he can turn it around. And, like, dude, he couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't throw, and he did it in the preseason. In one preseason game, the first play of the game, there's just a running back going out to the flat, overthrows him by like a mile, and right then and there, I said in my Discord, like, that's not good. That's not good. He doesn't have short accuracy. He can't have a little bit of a touch just to give a wide open guy the ball. And then look what happened the first play of the game in this game, does the same shit and throws the ball, like, just doesn't make sense. So there's a lot to be worried about, in my opinion, but I don't know. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people out there that are about to be giving him some wiggle room and be like, oh, it's just the first game, whatever. There's some concerns, man. And he can't even strap his fucking helmet on. Like, I'm worried, dude. So take that as you will. Say whatever you want. Cope and say whatever. Oh, it's just the first game. Oh, what? I just the same thing I told you about throwing the ball to the flat. Seen that before. There's habits now. He can't throw the ball short with accuracy. There's habits now forming, and that's why I was worried about it then, and that's why I'm worried about it now. And there's gonna be people out here that want to cope and be like, oh no, he's fine, bro. He's just the first game and he played pretty well. No, he fucking didn't. He couldn't throw the ball. Our entire offense was just him running the ball. He couldn't throw the ball to move down the field. We couldn't run the ball because they were honing in on the run because he's not throwing the ball. So then we just literally are running the ball with our quarterback, designed runs with our quarterback, which, like I said, how long do we have until someone gets hurt or something bad happens or whatever how long does he have to run to then open up easy passes? You know what I mean? To where he's like, oh, I have to take this pass because it's open now because they thought I was going to run the ball or they thought we were running the ball, whatever. How long is it going to take for that shit to open up? Because it didn't open up today. It opened up right there at the end of the game when the Buccaneers let it open up because they were up by like 30 points. But that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.